This one here is a 1996 Lincoln Town Car. The automatic HVAC, and the AC doesn't work. So I've been doing a little bit of playing around here. You'll see it's apart. But I'm gonna try to fix it without spending a whole lot of money here, because it is a 96. So we have here is, I do have even on max AC, the compressor doesn't work. First real quick thing you can do is with just the key on, with the flooring off, and then the automatic within 2 seconds, it'll do a self-check through the trouble codes. So does that for 10-15 seconds, and then supposedly it'll leave you a code if there's something wrong. There you go. So everything lit up. No codes. I think the 888 means there's no codes. So we'll go over here. Shows you hit the off and floor buttons. Within 2 seconds hit the automatic like we did, and it'll, if the 888 is displayed, then go to test A, so you're going to symptom diagnostics. But in case anyone ever gets anything different, there's the code chart of whatever you could get through that system. So anyway, I have no codes, but it doesn't work. So the next step for me, what's up, Clark?
Same old thing, Johnny. Another day. Can't wait to go home.
Grab the wiring diagram, and you can see here, I want to check just for power, some easy stuff first. If my light's working or not. It's my light. Light that up a little bit. So here we have the AC compressor, and it just has a permanent ground. So since we have the automatic head unit, I wanted to kind of follow the flow chart. So we have power going through a wide open cutout relay, which would be controlled by the computer. So what it looks like is the computer wants to see, here's the temperature control module here that does all the blend doors and everything, and you have your ground, an ignition feed, and your AC clutch out. So it looks like this thing supplies the power, and then it'll go through an AC cycling switch on the receiver, and then a pressure cutout switch, and then it goes into the wide open cutout relay. Actually, it just piggybacks there, and the computer will see whenever you're commanding the air on, but it doesn't actually control the air, because it looks like the PCM power relay is going to be hot at all times, and the pink yellow would be the from the wide open cutout. So if you're at wide open throttle, the computer would open that circuit, and it would let that relay de-energize and make the air conditioning shut off. So it looks like when you turn a key on and start it, that should be grounded all the time. I'm not going to go that far yet unless I have to. Right now I just want to see if I actually have power coming out of the clutch out going to the switches. So we have the pink blue, which is near the accumulator dryer thing, and I'm back probing there, and then it'll come out of that, and it piggybacks, and then it comes over to the other one, which is down here. So there's the other pressure switch. So there's two involved. So when I turn the air on, turn this light on, I should see 12 volts here. And if I do, then I'm going to head towards the compressor or wiring. If not, I'll go the other way. As you can see, like I said, I already have this all the way apart, so we know which way I'm going, but I'll show you how I ended up here. So I have it set at max AC, 60 degrees. What?
You know how many of these are on the road? You get like 2
Hey,
cents on it.
there's gonna be someone in Mexico that wants air conditioning, and now I'll show them how to look at it. Maybe Venezuela. They probably are. Escalade or something. You like that mixed light, lighten up the shop. So I have like 0.3 of a volt. That's nothing. So what I did next, just because I can, is I actually took my test lead that I have piggybacked into my jumper wire, and that would be my first leg of where the 12 volts would come from. And this should be a fused wire in case I have it short the ground, but I think that's just a voltage drop through the ground side of the compressor. But if I put mixed light down there where you can actually see the compressor hub, and then I take this and touch, oh, my lead fell off. Just get dizzy here for a second. There's my lead, there's my compressor down there. So I touch this, the battery positive, my compressor's running, not running, running, and of course I'm going to show voltage there. So the circuit actually works from the switches out, which saves me a step of getting down to that compressor. Like I said, if you're going to do it, put a fused wire from here to battery positive, just in case there's a short somewhere to ground, and it's pulling that ground down. So now I know I don't have power at that switch, so I'm between that switch and the head unit. So my next step was to check power, you know, at the AC, the same wire I'm on now, but add the AC head unit. And the other thing I did is you got to check, well, there's 3 legs of fuses going down to there. My guess is it's the one closest to the AC output. But that fuse box was under here, and I'm not going to bore you with all the steps, but I checked all those fuses right there, and the one that was closest to it was the one at the bottom that says ignition, the purple orange, and that went to fuse number 1, 15 amp, and it also did some blend door actuators, which I would have probably had a code for. So, you know, the fuse should be good, and it was good. Fuse 1, here's the fuse cover showing you the designation, of course, and fuse 1 was up there. That said fuse 1 15 amp. Yeah, the 10 amp. Oh. Either way, it even works with the 10 amp. Oh no, that's upside down. My bad. It that way. Fuse 1 was there, which is that 15 amp right there. So with the test light I have that everybody hates, plug that in. My hated test light. I already have it kind of got some stuff back probed here, but check my fuse there, and that's good. So at the same time, I would be checking that wire on the back of my head unit, in which I have apart, so you'll know where my problem lies already. But that's this purple wire here. So if I, same thing, I take my test light and I touch it there, I have power at the head unit. Now this one I have back probed because it was easier for me to do. So that down, and I just touched I have this is jammed into a wire that I put there, and you're seeing I'm showing that ground for the AC compressor. So if I were to go out and touch my jumper back to battery positive, turn the compressor on, which it's now running, showing my 14 volts, and you can hear it coming. I already have power there now, so my circuit is good from the AC compressor all the way through the wiring all the way to this head unit. So the reason I have this apart, take this out here, actually I won't. So the reason I actually even have this apart, of course Ford doesn't stock it anymore, and there are companies that rebuild it, but here's my test light. When I was wiggling this harness and trying to, you know, back probe it, I saw this flicker red a couple times, and I was actually just squeezing on this case here that it sits, you know, around. I kind of unbolted everything already, but as I was wiggling there and I was pushing on it, I saw that thing light up red. So I unplugged it. I started looking for a connection problem. I didn't find anything, but if you look real close, I'm at the second one over. So if you follow through to the circuit board, it's the second one going into the circuit board, and if I flip this over, I saw, it's actually kind of warm, but when I flipped it over, if you follow those three terminals, which are the three right below my thumb, and then if you look at the circuit board, there's a burnt contact coming from the second one over up to here, and that one there, you can hear my test light going off when I wiggle it. So that goes into this relay that's probably, you know, it's all internal to the head unit. So there's a relay control. So with my test light in play, and then I grab that, I can wiggle that terminal and do that. I actually burnt my thumb drawing a lot of amps. So there's probably high current flow in this circuit, but I'm gonna pull it apart because you can actually, it's working now. I burnt my thumb, see that dot? So this is the problem with mine. So I'm actually gonna try to solder this, only because I can at least try it, and because other than that I'd have to send this unit out and get it rebuilt or do some searching, and I don't want to go that far today, and the customer's cool with me trying to repair this, so we'll pull it out and get a closer look. Alright, on the bench I was back probed right here, the second one over, so the second tab over here being soldered into the circuit board. If you flip it over, that's right next to this one. That's that one right there. Let's see if I can point to that one better. So that's the second one over where my pocket screwdriver is. And if you look at the circuit board, that goes over to this one right here. I don't know if that's showing up real good on, zoom in with the light. There we go. So this is the second one over I'm touching with my pocket screwdriver, and there is the bad solder joint, you know, probably a higher current draw, maybe melted it. Maybe it was bad from the factory. We'll go with I burnt my thumb, so there's probably more current draw. In 1996 it took its toll, so it's not popping the fuse yet, so the rated circuit's good. So I'm gonna see if I can re-solder that joint, put it back together. Alright, I'm trying to get a good picture of this because I don't know if it's going to show up good on the computer or not, but you can see that term and that pin right there where I'm pointing. You can see the air gap around the terminal coming in, the solder kind of just burnt away, and you can even see the heat mark, the lighter green, you know, where it got hot there. So this is the one I'm going to try to resolder.
Snap one isn't facing.
Yeah. See, this is what happens when you're young like Nick and can afford tools. He got this nice little, what is it, butane or something?
Yeah.
Nice little solder thing with a small tip. Anything I have is monstrous and would just melt the whole damn board. So, what'd that cost?
Too much.
200 much?
No, I think it was like 120. It came with steak knives or something.
Them ones people are trying to sell on Craigslist for $100.
Yeah.
That's you, huh? With all them extra ones. Is that you trying to sell them steak knives? I'm gonna let you do it.
No, you're burning yourself.
No, you're not gonna. Oh, yeah, that's right. That does burn you, doesn't it? Through that vent. So here's some solder.
Mechanic's wire.
Oh, what?
That ain't gonna work.
That? Is that too much solder?
How many bulbs did we have out on build?
Bill's is a 3057.
Okay.
194, 194 NA.
Snap this back in.
Whatever the third brake light is.
Okay, so there was a right brake light also. That's what I'm missing.
Now I'm gonna get on film you burning yourself, Nick. Is it hot yet? Look at that thing's
I don't
low.
wanna touch it. You touch it.
I don't want to touch it. What do you do?
Touch the tip. Is it hot?
Oh, so that's actually flame we're seeing there, like burning butane.
It's magic. Magic happens inside.
So what? I could probably just use the solder that's there, right? So if we touch it,
Where are you soldering?
it should melt. I'm shaking like a.
I'm shaking like a what?
Yeah, you know, one of them. I don't know what shakes. That's a swear word. I don't know. Okay, see that's melting. Needs melted over here. It's not getting hot enough. There we go. Now it is. Get a little bit on the tip there. See if I can get that to sink in there real quick. Kind of too much. Think that's too much?
Oh, plug it in.
Plug it in and see what happens. It looks covered up, right? It's hot. See if I can get some of that off of there. Oh, that's hot.
You need a solder sucker.
Did they make one?
Yeah.
Snap-on solder sucker? Well, look, that worked good. I just wrapped it around there like... See what happens, right? Here, want it? How do you turn it off? Here you go. Thanks, Nick. So there we go. There's my
Right.
hillbilly solder booger.
Don't touch it. It'll be hot.
Yeah, it seems tight on there. See what happens. Alright, got it plugged back in. Got my test light hooked up, my lead hooked up. Find the keys wherever I put those at. Right there. Start the car. I have hit the max AC. Hey, it works. And if I kind of wiggle my connection a little bit, I can feel that booger of the solder I put on there, so I'm putting pretty good pressure on there. It seems to be good. So there you go. Some diagnostics in some time. Not really many parts other than solder and butane. I hear the compressor kicking on. Can go out and confirm that real quick. Have my 13 volts, and there's a couple pressure switches, so it's going to cycle. I'm not sure which one it's cycling on, or do I really care? All I know is it works, and I got cool air coming out, so we can call this one fixed. If it comes back, then I'll have to send that head unit out, but hoping we don't have to. So we'll call this one diagnosed and repaired, see how long it stays fixed. Thanks for watching.